Guys, welcome back to another episode of the PH Journals podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. Boy, what a change. What a change. So we get back from America. I get this bee in my bonnet and I'm like, we're coming back from an extremely successful show season and we need to come back and we need to change things up. The podcast is doing exceptionally well thanks to everyone that has supported me. Without you guys, this couldn't have been possible. So we headed along, upgraded the sound equipment, upgraded the cameras, did whatever we needed to do to get to this point. And of course, the finishing touches is upgrading our brand new studio. And yeah, man, I'm so excited to be here. It's absolutely stunning. It really turned out nicely and just in time because I kick off my very first episode with being back with Sarah tomorrow. I'll tell you guys a little bit more about that once we air that episode. I'm really looking forward to that one. Such a unique perspective on what our industry has to offer. So it's one of those that I'm really looking forward to. But yeah, guys, let's get into it. Before I kick off, I do want to mention, I want to welcome, to say the least. Firstly, I want to give a big welcome to Grizzly Sticks. The guys contacted me as I arrived in North America. The idea was once I arrived there that we were going to be able to do a little bit of hunting up there. Unfortunately, that didn't pan out due to weather and just the busy season that we had planned for heading over there. Of course, marketing was our main goal and main focus. And the guys from Grizzly Sticks hit me up and they want to help me out, which ultimately has led into, I've been planning a Cape Buffalo hunt now for some time, for a very long time, probably about 5 years in the planning. And a lot of money has gone into it, a lot of savings has been made. And this is just, the cherry on top. Because Grizzly Stick, without a doubt, are one of the leading brands in the industry when it comes to big game hunting, especially with bow. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I can't wait to test it out. I'll be heading up to Magnum Archery. We'll be dialing in a new bow, which I'm pretty excited about. I'll tell you guys a little bit more about that as we go along. And I'm hoping to sit down with Seppi and actually sit down and do a full episode while we are up there. So big welcome to Grizzly Stick. Thank you so much for getting involved. I'm really looking forward to testing out the product. We'll be heading out and doing, we're hunting a red lechwe for the next couple of weeks. So I'm really looking forward to that. Those of you that followed my story last year, unfortunately the elusive big bull, he got away. It was the one that got away, but we'll be trying our luck again this year. And hopefully we have a little bit Lady Luck's on our side this time, but that's hunting, right? So yeah, once again, big shout out to Grizzly Stick. I'm really looking forward to this one. And then, guys, just thank you to everyone that, I need to just thank each and every single one of you for tuning into the podcast. You guys have made it the success it has been today. We made it into the top 30 just a couple of weeks ago, and with the amount of attention that the podcast has got, we're hoping to break that top 20 barrier in the next couple of weeks, in the next couple of episodes. So I'm looking forward to that one, and once again, just a big shout out to all you guys that have watched and contributed to this magnificent journey of mine. So with that being said, if you haven't yet, I would really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications, and of course, if you enjoyed this episode, if you like, just drop a thumbs up. On any one of the platforms that you guys are listening to, if you subscribe to the show, it really goes a very long way, and it helps me to keep doing what I'm so passionate about doing, and ultimately look after the conservation of our beautiful and majestic wildlife. And that's the end goal, right? So that's what we're striving to do. And then last but not least, a big shout out to also a newcomer and will be joining me for this season. And I'm really looking forward for this brand to come through, Karoo Hunting Gear. And these guys are undoubtedly one of the most exciting brands to hit the industry, from gun bags to pretty much everything. They go into so much detail, and they just whatever needs and requirements you have as a professional hunter, as an outfitter, or just somebody that enjoys going out into the bush, from camping in the Karoo to the Kalahari to Kruger National Park, wherever you guys are going to be going, Karoo hunting gear will be able to accommodate your needs as you guys go along. So I'm really, really looking forward to this one. I'm hoping to get a couple of products in and ready to get going, and I'm excited about it. So a big shout out to Karoo Hunting Gear. Well, guys, yeah, so to kick this episode off, of course, like mentioned in my Instagram a couple of days ago, we will be doing a giveaway. And now part of the big focus of our giveaway is that the podcast gets the attention it needs, and not only that, so does the YouTube channel. So we are heading into whatever time it may be now on this particular podcast episode, and I will be mentioning the first giveaway prize that we will be giving away on this episode. So if you are watching this on YouTube, now is the perfect time to take a photo and take down the names. If you're listening to this on any one of our platforms, listen carefully. So Stable Sticks is our first giveaway. So what will need to happen now is, once I release the post on the mystery gift for this episode, all you guys have got to do is head along to my Instagram or Facebook page, click on that post and comment what the answer was that I've just mentioned. So Stable Sticks will be the first giveaway that we have for this season of the podcast. So I'm really looking forward to keep giving away. We've got a bunch of great prizes, from scopes to handcrafted knives, a couple of broadhead giveaways, some gear bags, some rifle bags, some camo vouchers. The list goes on and on and on, and I can't wait to keep the traction going and giving back to what you guys have given me so much, and so much joy in doing what I love doing. So yeah, keep that one close to your mind, and just don't forget that Stable Sticks. Yeah, guys, so basically this episode was really just to kick it off. Our very first episode for 2024 was Mackenzie Sims. What a great chat. I managed to sit down with him. But this episode was more about just to tell you guys a little bit about the plan for 2024 going forward, what my opinion was on the show season. You know, if you guys have been following me, you would have seen that I interviewed a very good friend of mine. I call him a family member. He's done several different safaris with me, or Pat Dugan. And we touched base, and we touched on a little bit on what the show, SCI had to offer. But I would really like to delve in on this episode on my personal opinion because I was able to really anticipate the shows from a different perspective this time, right? I wasn't sitting in a booth selling hunts. I actually got to map the floor and walk the floor and get into different discussions, with different outfitters from across the world, which was absolutely fantastic. So yeah, this episode, like I said, it's basically just to touch base on where we are, where we're going for 2024, and what my basic opinion was on the show season. So I'll kick it off on the show season. We arrived in the US on the 16th of January to a very, very cold press kit in Arizona. And the mission was simple, right? The mission was simple. We were gonna arrive in the States and make as much contact and connections as we possibly can with brands, with people that would want to come out and hunt. And then, of course, experiencing different hunting cultures and the way things are done differently across the pond. So yeah, it was a fantastic time, really, really was. And my personal opinion, from different avenues and different perspectives on the hunting industry as a whole in the US, I really think that they've got some pretty cool things going. For instance, in Arizona, we got involved with the Arizona Elk Society, which was it gives back to the preservation and the conservation story behind the elk in Arizona, which is wonderful, So giving back has always been a top of my agenda. And to be able to give back to a species that the North America is known for and is world renowned for is pretty awesome, So to have that opportunity to be involved and donate a hunting package was incredible. And they host their banquets now in April, I would presume, and I'm really trying. So my marketing strategy for next year will be more to attend those sort of type marketplaces like the banquets and stuff, because I just feel as well that the end goal is conservation, right? So my goal is try and be as much involved into the conservation side of the hunting industry as much as possible, and getting involved with these banquets, because there's a lot of guys that are there for the right reasons. So a lot of like-minded people in a hall is always great, So yeah, so that will where my marketing strategy will change a little bit next year. So maybe wouldn't be doing SEI in Nashville, but instead going to a lot of these little banquets and connecting with different people there and being able to have different conversations. And yeah, I think as a young, well, not a young, but a fairly new outfitter, this would probably be our best chance of really getting into the market for the right reasons, right? So that was pretty cool. And then of course, we headed along to the big one, to the SEI show, and I do want to take this opportunity to say congratulations to each and every single African outfitter out there that was representing conservation. I've come in my time, in my 14 years as being a professional hunter, you tend to meet a lot of shady characters along the way, and a lot of people in the industry that are there for the wrong reasons, And a lot of the time we pick up we pick these individuals or these institutions out a little bit too late in our careers, but we've associated with them, right? So for me, to be able to go to the shows and see leaders in the industry like John X and Izulu, just to mention a couple, it was really Stormberg Ilangeni. That was a very their setup was fantastic. These guys have led themselves into the conservation story. They've written themselves in the conservation storybooks, and it's wonderful to see. They hold their heads up high when they're at these conventions, and duly deserved. So yeah. The exciting thing for me is that overshadows a lot of the riffraff that is out there, a lot of the guys that are taking the chances, that have done unethical things in the past, and are kind of now chasing tail a little bit. What would I like to see come from that? Well, justice needs to be served, right? So if people are being unethical and have done dirt on the industry, we need to understand that there's really only one loser, and that's the species that we are fighting to protect. And it breaks my heart to say that, but it's the truth, So with that being said, it's kind of like a catch-22. Are they a necessity evil, or is it something that we could do without in our industry? My honest opinion right now, I do feel that the industry is a little bit flooded. But like I said, the cream always rises to the top, right? So the guys that are doing the hard graft, and they don't actually necessarily need these shows to be successful. They don't need these shows to how can I say? They don't need these shows to make the money that they've always wanted, or get their point across, right? They they're just doing these shows because they love talking about and they're passionate about what they do. And ultimately, what thrives from that is the conservation patterns that they've instilled into their camps, into their conservancies. And it's wonderful to see, right? Because a lot of it is thriving. The numbers are doing well. The species are coming through the ranks, and there's a lot of great benefits that are coming from this. So I want to say that the guys that have done dirt, let's hope the wheel turns, and let's hope that justice will be served, and the animals will have their chance once again. But to the guys that have done so many good things, and like I said, walking around there, you can see from a mile away the guys that have held their own, and the guys that are doing this for the right reasons, because it's like a magnet, right? Everyone's just drawn to these people, and they held in such high regard. So it's absolutely magnificent, and it was just so cool. You know, I was honestly walking around there as a South African and somebody that's been in the industry and not necessarily always been involved with these individuals or these institutions. Just to see how well they've actually done is really awe-inspiring, and it gives me goosebumps to say this, but it's kind of inspirational. So keep it up. I mean, it's been fantastic, and you can't really compare outfitters with outfitters, right? Coming from different countries, but South Africa and Africa as a whole hold their own in a very special way in the SCR Convention Center, which is fantastic, you know. So there is a space for us, and the space is only getting better. It's been seen with more respect and more dignity. Of course, like I said, there's always these chance takers, but they're kind of weaning themselves out with no motivation from anyone else other than themselves. They've kind of singling themselves out, and people can see that. But other than that, I mean, how we hold our own against, you know, places like New Zealand, Scotland, England, Spain, Croatia, France, all these different places, we hold our own pretty well, and it's fantastic to see. And I walked around there as a proud South African, because we can hold our head up high and say that we've put conservation at the forefront of many success stories. So yeah, and that's my perspective, guys. That's my perspective on the shows and where we are as a country and where we are as in the industry going forward. You know, I'm by no means saying that, well, what I say is the right way. It's just from what I experienced, and it was great. It really was. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to, you know, what these outfitters produce for the coming year. But in the same sense, where our conservation patterns are going and where our conservation story is going. So I'm fairly confident leaving those shows that I'll be able to say that, you know, one day all the hard work that everyone put together, the likes of Warren Rippon from Buffalo Cliff Safaris, it's just an impeccable. And the fact that he didn't get the SCR award for conservation kind of blows my mind. But what he has done for conservation in the southern tip of Africa is beyond remarkable. And I would love to have him on the podcast, and I'm sure I will at some stage. But yeah, man, what an experience! What an absolute experience it was. So very fortunate. I count my lucky stars every day to have gone over there and seen it from that perspective. It's so much fun, and yeah, I look forward to next year and getting involved in a slightly different way than what the traditional outfitters do. So, and see how that kind of plays out. So moving into And so the second part of the episode is more about what the plans hold for PH Journals for 2024. Of course, the podcast is my main focus. I'm hoping to get a couple of episodes rolling, and that we can do it more than once a week, and it can become a regular activity that we get involved in. So, yeah, so the podcast is exciting. I'm really, really excited where it is at the moment, where it's going, and the trajectory it's taking. So, yeah, and there's some pretty cool, like I said, I mentioned Warren, but other than that, there's so many cool conservation stories within our industry that I would love to pick up my mic, head down to these guys and have a chat to them and see what it's all about, and get their perspective on what we can do better as hunters, what we can do better as outfitters, professional hunters, whatever it may be, So that's an exciting part for me. And then as far as professional hunting and the outfitting story I've got going, our season pretty much starts now at the end of March. I did mention that I'll be chasing a red lechwe around. It makes it tough, and the tough thing about this particular hunt is that I'm chasing one bull. There's 4 or 5 different beautiful, majestic lechwe bulls, but it's this one bull that I'm after because he's got such a unique shape. He's giant, he's old, he's never going to breed again. And, I've kind of got like I've got his number, so I've got to make it work. So, yeah, so I'm doing a lot more individual hunts this year, which I'm really, really excited about. Chasing a couple of different species. We'll be heading up back into the Snowberg Mountains, chasing klipspringer, which I'm absolutely amped about. So I'll be packing my tent for a couple of days, which is always exciting. I'm not a big camper, but it is. It's definitely a fun side of the industry, and definitely something. It's an experience that I will forever hold close to my heart. So, yeah, we're doing that. And then, like I said, if the Cape Buffalo pans out this year, it will be a blessing. But if not, my preparation still hasn't gone to waste. So we keep preparing. And, I always said to somebody the other day that asked me about it, and I said, if I can be 100% prepared for this hunt every single month, when it comes to me unexpectedly, at least I know I've done the hard work, I've done the graft, and I'll be ready. All I'll need to do is pack my bow, pack my arrows, and head out and do this hunt. So I'm really looking forward to that. It is exciting, of course, but it's kind of daunting at the same time because, it's a lot of money to fork out on an experience, but it's an experience I will cherish for the rest of my life. And it's something that I believe is the right way of going about a buffalo hunt and of course, conserving the beautiful species. So, yeah, so that's where I'm at. I'm hoping to get a couple of freelance hunts in through PH Journals. I like reconnecting with old clients. I like making new friends. So I'm hoping to touch base on that. We had some exciting prospects with a couple of NFL players. Unfortunately, communications going through back and forth. We're hoping to kind of seal the hunt pretty soon. It's probably not going to happen this year, but definitely next year or the year after. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be one hell of an experience because, at the end of the day, it's hunting with different characters and different people, which is ultimately excites me. And especially people that have never really been to South Africa before. It will always be fun to get them onto their first animal and watch how, the way we handle ourselves in different situations in another country is always exciting. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And then, just really just touching base on and making sure that we focus a lot more on our conservation projects. So I'm looking to get involved. Like I said, we've got the Elk Society now coming up in April. So if you guys are in the Arizona area, in Phoenix, head along to that, because that's going to be a fun one. And yeah, so once again, like I mentioned, we chased the Lettre this month. Next month we start heading in and doing all the preparations for fallow deer. We've got a couple of new prospects coming through on the PH Journals program. If you guys would like to find out more about that, hit me up on any one of my socials or DM me on my WhatsApp. That's exciting. So yeah, we'll be doing a lot of preparation for the fallow deer rut, because once April hits, you never really know when that full moon comes along. You want to be 100% prepared for the stags, and so I'm looking forward for that. And then yeah, guys, just closing off, I can't thank each and every single one of you enough for the participation in this journey, from the social media to the YouTube channel, to the podcast and booking hunts. It's been an absolutely incredible journey. And somebody asked me, I managed to sit down with a couple of guys, and I was very fortunate to do a podcast with Mackenzie while I was over there. I did a podcast, and we got to chatting about some pretty cool topics and some exciting topics, to say the least. But I kind of it put into perspective on how fun this journey really has been. And somebody asked me at the shows on what is my end goal for PH Journals, and I kind of look back at him, and I was a little bit taken back and taken off guard, because I've never really had the question thrown at me. But the fact that it was kind of made me kind of forced me to think into it, and I've never really expected anything from it. And that I think has been one of the biggest successes that has led into PH Journals, is that there hasn't been too much expectation. But in the same sense, we've also we've gone out there and we've done what we've needed to do, and it's, like I said, it's just been so much fun. I mean, from meeting Sue Tidwell to the stories that people have shared with me and have transgressed on the podcast, it's been an absolute blessing, and to get over $2 million now, and we're sitting almost in the top 20 of the hunting podcasts in the world on FeedSpot, which is a dream come true for me. And, like I said, I couldn't have done this without you guys. So I think that's probably the perfect opportunity for me to close out on this episode. A nice, short, quick brief on where we are, where we're going, what we have planned, and what we experienced back over in the States. So, yeah, guys, stay tuned. Like I said, we've got some pretty cool giveaways. There's going to be a giveaway every episode until, I want to say it's going to take a month for us to give away everything that we've got, but I pretty much doubt that. I think it's going to take a little bit longer. But so stay tuned. Check all the socials. Make sure that you're on top of it, and you guys could walk away with some really cool stuff. And it's my biggest giveaway I've ever given, so I'm really looking forward to this one. And once again, I can't thank you guys enough. To all my sponsors, Scully's, Splitting Image Taxidermy, Max's Tires, FFS Outdoors, Karoo Hunting Gear, Grizzly Stick, Magnum Archery, Treason. Guys, thank you so much. It's been, sorry, Love Tires. It's been an absolute blessing, and I can't thank you guys enough. So for myself, if you are, happy hunting. Until then, stay safe, stay blessed, stay humble. We'll catch up with you guys soon. Cheers.